Canada has become New Zealand's meth pipeline. That's according to an investigation by Canadian television network CTV. Managing editor Avery Haynes recently came to New Zealand as part of her investigation, and we have a piece of her documentary to play for you this morning. Just a warning, it contains footage of drug use that some viewers may find confronting.
We're investigating the dark side of this country and how Canadian criminals see New Zealand as a mecca for meth.
This neighborhood in Auckland is known as K Road. And when we asked locals where to go to see the meth crisis up close, they pointed us here.
Within minutes, these two approach.
Off to have a smoke.
In New Zealand, meth is known as P, as in pure.
Do you want to come?
Oh, you have pee?
Yeah.
You do?
Do you need it?
It's here where we meet Victoria, who's on her way to buy her next fix. Her dealer is in this apartment building. Victoria comes back with a point of meth, which is 1/10 of 1 gram. How much did this amount cost?
That cost me $100 tonight.
That's about 80 Canadian dollars, one of the highest prices for meth in the world. In Canada, this would cost $5 or $10. 41-year-old Victoria has been addicted to meth for half her life.
I think this shit, I can't keep doing it, I'm so tired.
Barefoot, Victoria leads us down a muddy path.
Whoa!
This is her home.
So you live in the cemetery?
Yeah.
With a rolled-up bill, she funnels a small amount of meth into the glass pipe.
And excuse me, do you mind if I...
No.
Yeah, we warned you it would be confronting, and it is nothing short of that. CTV Managing Editor Avery Haynes joins me now live. Avery, thank you very much for being with me.
Thank you, Ryan. Good morning.
What you've shown us, and I saw this this story of yours yesterday, and I thought, well, we have to speak to you. What you've shown us is something we don't often show ourselves anymore because we're kind of used to it now in New Zealand. What shocked you about what you witnessed?
I'm going to guess that what shocked me will shock you. And that is, I had done obviously a fair amount of research before I came to New Zealand, and we traveled the length of the North Island. And I had read all about your wastewater testing doubling in a 1-year period, about how every community is impacted by meth. And in my travels, I couldn't see the crisis the way that I see Canada's drug crisis so in my face. So in Canada, we're struggling with fentanyl and opioid toxicity, which we measure in deaths, not in wastewater testing, some 60,000 in a 4-year period. And it's so in your face and so on the streets where entire neighborhoods have been taken over by people who are unhoused, by people who are struggling with really horrific addiction. And in New Zealand, what I found is that it was so hidden. And I think because it has been so normalized and people are able to survive doing meth for much longer than they are fentanyl or a toxic drug supply, which is what we have. So I was surprised by how difficult it was to find. Now, I know on K Road, which was just sort of, I spent a lot of time on K Road. It was only when I had gone to record that on camera that somebody approached me. And then we met Victoria shortly afterwards. But I saw just this extraordinary community, this lovely, vibrant neighborhood. It's not the same kind of drug crisis that we have in Canada.
What you're saying is basically we have it not easy, but we have it better. Do you think that the networks that you have been tracking, the supply routes, is it only a matter of time before what you're getting is what we're getting?
So there's not a meth problem in Canada. There's a glut of meth. What we've uncovered is that organized crime in Mexico and in Canada, homegrown organized crime, is setting up shop to produce meth for export. And the reason why they want to get meth to New Zealand is because there's almost nowhere else on earth where they can make more money. So it's just so profitable, even though it seems like such a far distance to go, 10,000 kilometers away to make that shipment feels like a very long way. It used to be that most of your meth was coming from Southeast Asia. This new golden triangle is Mexico, the United States, and Canada. And what's happening is the drugs are coming from Mexico through the United States into Canada, and it's the launching off point. As well, we have super labs where we are creating meth that's for you, that's for your market. And our investigation really looks at what's being done to stop it at your borders, but also what are Canadian police doing to stop it from even leaving this country or from being produced here.
How's the investigation, the reporting that you've done going down in Canada?
Well, I mean, I had a very frustrating interview with the RCMP. We know that the two largest, you're looking at maple syrup right now, the two largest meth busts in New Zealand's history both came from Canada, hidden in the food supply, which is terrifying, beer and maple syrup. I'm sure you all know the tragic story of Aidan Sagala, who died by drinking that Canadian beer, which was actually filled with meth. And so my question to the RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, our federal police service, was what did you do once New Zealand police shared all of that documentation of those two massive busts? We're talking tons of meth. What did you do to follow up on who was creating it in Canada and shipping it out from Canada? And the answer is nothing. It wasn't our investigation. So I reached back out to Greg Williams, who is the superintendent in charge of national organized crime in New Zealand, who said, no, we shared all of this information with the RCMP. And I would imagine there should be a lot of outrage and frustration in New Zealand for the way that Canada is not investigating, reverse engineering the people who are shipping it.
Absolutely fascinating. The thing that worries me the most is and you are not the first guest that we've had to talk about the fentanyl crisis over in North America, but you know, we think the problem we have with meth is really bad. Our big worry is the potential for that fentanyl to start coming in here, because we don't have a massive problem with it here in New Zealand at the moment.
And I'll tell you why you should be concerned then about Canada. In the Canadian super labs where they're creating drugs for export, New Zealand and Australia being their prime destination, along with where they're producing meth, they're also producing fentanyl. And so the concern is cross-contamination.
Right.
As I mentioned, we're in the throes of a really horrific opioid crisis where people are dying from toxic drugs, from fentanyl that is being, you know, a grain too much is what kills you. And the impact of addiction of fentanyl is far different because it's not a drug that you can function on the way that you can function with meth. And so that's the concern that I heard from Australian and New Zealand customs and police forces, was that if there's cross-contamination, or if there is all of a sudden an attempt by the bad guys in Canada to start trying to flood your market with fentanyl, then you've got a whole different terrifying scenario on your hands.